much for that. You know, we know that that firefighters from Ventura County, LA County have been working diligently to help in this firefight. But Mike, you have some news that I don't think I've heard before since working 35 years here.
Yeah, Pat, it is a call that we got to our assignment desk that I have never taken before in any kind of situation, especially a fire. The LAFD has called us to ask people watching, anybody who is an LAFD firefighter, they are asking you to call into the Department Operations Center to give them your availability to see if you can come and help fight this fire. The LAFD has asked us to spread that message to all of its members. I'm going to put a phone number up on the screen for you here for anybody who is watching that is an LAFD member. There it is, the DOC, 213-576-8962. Again, 213-576-8962. The LAFD needs all of its members to call into the Department Operations Center and give the DOC your availability. They need help fighting this fire. They need the staffing. We're working on getting LAFD on the phone right now to be able to kind of walk us through that a little bit more. Certainly there are processes for them to reach out to their members, but in an emergency situation, the airwaves might be the quickest way to do that, which is why they have asked for our help, and we are certainly here to provide that for them and help them get that message to their members. Any LAFD member that is listening to the sound of my voice, you are being asked to call the Department Operations Center at the number on your screen. What you're looking at over that is the map of where this fire has burned and where the evacuation centers are. I'm going to refresh something here really quick. I don't think we have had 2,900 acres now is the latest update. So let me refresh this map here and we can see where it burned. So again, that number just coming in, CAL FIRE using their mapping aircraft to get that updated acreage. And again, they're now mapping it at 2,900 acres. And in just a second here, the actual burn area should pop up on this map. I may have to refresh it one more time, Pat, but that is another significant growth in the fire as it continues to move both towards the west and even back east. Okay, here, so now it's populated and we'll see some of these new areas. All right, so this is, okay, so it hasn't well, some of it up here has populated into new areas. This is, again, the Las Lomas Avenue and different areas like that. And again, I'm actually going to pull over this map, Pat, and sorry about that, I'm doing this live here. It gives you actually a better idea of what has burned and what hasn't. And so the new area, look at this, okay. So this is where Jasmine was. It looks like the fire just shot down to Mescal Canyon Road here, where that we were talking about. So Palisades High School is now directly in the fire line. The entire school is now in the footprint of the fire. And again, I want to be clear, when we look at these footprints, we don't definitively know that the structures within the footprint have burned, but it is certainly reasonable to think that things that are within the fire's footprint have burned. And now you can see it made this line basically exactly where Jasmine was, all the way through the little ravine that lays down here. So you have Temescal Canyon, and then look at this. This is where Tom Waite was. This is that apartment building. So that has now popped up as well. So Jasmine was down here near the high school, and then Tom Waite is right here near that apartment building that burned. And you can see, based on the latest fire mapping, now at 2,900 acres, we'll change that graphic for you, but now 2,900 acres is how much this fire has burned. Pat, okay, this is what we were talking about. Remember Jasmine drove past Tahiti Avenue, those homes that we saw were on fire? That's right here. So that is now being reflected in this map as well. This whole subdivision of what looks like might be mobile homes right in that area that we saw in Jasmine when she was driving down PCH, it has also appeared to now have been in the fire path. And we know from Jasmine's pictures that some of that area has burned. So, and even look, it did cross PCH right here as well. Burned some of the shrubs right there at Will Rogers Beach. The command post is at Will Rogers Beach, so I would assume that's going to be moving soon too. And look, we talk about these spot fires. First of all, this is such an interesting kind of fork that has come through this area. You have the whole neighborhoods over here that are untouched, but somehow it managed to work its way down the ravine here of Temescal Canyon. And then you get even closer here, and we'll look at the spot fires, because you see, then look at, we've got just kind of random kind of spots where it pops up, random houses in these neighborhoods that have seen some of these spot fires. So the fire is starting to grow significantly. And what's worse is now we're in an area where you have this whole kind of neighborhood, this whole area of town that is now surrounded by fire on at least 3 sides. So that is going to be concerning. Hopefully they're able to kind of, keep things in check in that area so it doesn't close in on itself. But now we're starting to move even more towards the Riviera Country Club is right here. That's under a mandatory evacuation zone. And look, that's now the fire perimeter. We're not that far away from that location.
No, we certainly aren't. And again, I had mentioned some businesses on PCH
Yeah.
that we don't want to mention right now because we don't want to alarm people if there's nothing to alarm them about in terms of them being not just threatened, but any damage to their structures right now. Mike, I want to go back to what we've just been talking about.
Right.
The fact that LA Fire has called and asked for anybody who's a firefighter to come and help them.
Yeah.
Have they put out a call to like areas such as San Diego? I can remember years ago, decades ago actually, when it seemed like we had a ring of fire that was started from San Diego that continued all the way north to Ventura County. So I'm just, have they done
So yeah, they'll go into
those asks or not?
They have, and they're in what's called unified command. And so what's going to happen now is other cities, other jurisdictions will start to form strike teams, and they'll deploy these strike teams. But that is not necessarily as instantaneous as perhaps getting your own LAFD members that are already in town. So what'll happen if we do get help from San Diego County Fire or San Diego City Fire, they'll form up together and then they'll drive up. But that takes a couple of hours to get that all situated and the requests in and all of that.
Well, we could possibly see something like that tomorrow. But you know what?
100%.
I'm guessing, Inglewood Fire Department.
Yeah. Yep.
Fire departments in our smaller
Cities.
nearby communities, they are asking them to come and assist.
Santa Monica Fire is already there. Beverly Hills Fire is already there. But what LAFD wants is they want LAFD members to call that number on the screen and figure out if they're available, figure out how they can put them to work, and figure out how they can staff not only the fire, but the rest of the city that will still need regular fire services, regular medical services, all of that. So that's why they're asking us to put out that message to the LAFD members to call that number on the screen, call the DOC.
And we talked about this during Malibu. We've got some fire camps up there where I'm sure they are in on this fire, even a women's camp.
Correctional,
of women, women firefighters that are out assisting right now, especially if they're making this kind of call. So that is pretty significant news, I would say, Mike, and something that we have not seen here. Also, just the area, how it has expanded so far since the time we've been talking about this. 10:30 this morning, and we're now at 6:30 in the evening. I can remember the Malibu fire starting a little bit like at 11 p.m.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
And went on and on and on, way into the wee hours of the morning into the next day.
Yeah.
So again, we are hoping that they can get a better handle on what's been happening out there. And I'm going to talk to you in just a moment when we start the show to talk about the possibility of the choppers and fixed-wing aircraft out there. Stay with us here on KCAL News.